In this video, we'll be summarizing the 2019 film A New Rich. The story begins by introducing Tika, a university student who is majoring in architecture from a pretty modest background, because of which she is often subjected to bullying at her university. The second character introduced in the film is her second brother, Decca, who aspires to be a professional producer and is studying theater. Their youngest sibling, Dottie, is still in elementary school. Despite their family's financial struggles, the three siblings lead cheerful lives, even resorting to attending random weddings for free food, until they are caught by the bride and groom and have to be expelled. However, their lives take a tragic turn when their father unexpectedly passes away, leaving the family in deep sorrow and pain. Despite the hardships, they honor their father's wish to uplift his children to new heights. Before he dies, the father reveals how much he loves his family and also reveals another big secret that leaves all of his children and his wife in utter shock. He is the son of the richest family in Indonesia, with a vast and huge inheritance. For 21 years, he had chosen to live a simple life for his children and wife, to learn the importance of simplicity, and to be able to live independently, without relying wholly on their family fortune. But after his departure, he plans to give all his inheritance to his children and his wife, so they can feel that they are also rich and important people. When they went to the bank to withdraw the money, they got 500 million rupiahs. After returning from the bank, they went straight to one of the fancy restaurants and rented a VIP room. Unfortunately, the VIP room is for 5 people, while they are only 4 people. Then they decided to invite one of the fruit ice traders selling in front of the restaurant to eat with them. After eating, they continued to go to the mall to buy luxury goods. The next day, Dottie suddenly became the center of attention at his school because of his very different appearance. All of a sudden, he had turned from a simple and modest-looking boy to looking like a spoilt and rich teenager. When Bayu's motorbike breaks down, Tika impulsively buys a new motorbike for 19 million rupiah. However, upon returning home, Bayu decides to return the motorbike, explaining to Tika that acquiring the previous motorbike requires significant hard work, and he doesn't want to take it for granted. Despite having 500 million rupiahs, their money quickly runs out within a few days, leading them to reevaluate their spending choices. Feeling disheartened, they revisit a video of their late father, who had promised that soon they would receive a substantial sum of 15 billion rupiah. The video becomes a source of hope, motivating them to navigate their newfound wealth more wisely and patiently await the anticipated fortune. However, as soon as they withdraw the money, their lives become increasingly disorganized. They began spending their newly withdrawn money, starting by buying a house worth 8 billion, and then buying costly furniture for that house. They even decided to hire a security guard at the furniture shop. They even went as far as to buy 3 cars all at once, even though none of them knew how to drive a car. On the other hand, their newly acquired wealth and their mismanagement of that wealth also started taking a toll on their social lives. Tika's classmates, who used to bully her relentlessly, begin getting closer to her due to her newly elevated financial status. That is supposed to be a good thing, as that means no more bullying for her in school. But on the other hand, her relationship with her old friends becomes strenuous as she has started hanging out more frequently with her new rich friends, neglecting her old friendships in the process. This has a very bad effect on the preparation for the physics Olympiad that they are taking part in, as none of Tika's old friends can now get along with her. Their relationship with Bayu takes a bad turn too due to all that happened in the past. Bayu considers Tika buying him a motorbike as an insult and humiliation. Even though she had apologized for her mistakes and Bayu had graciously forgiven her, Bayu's relationship with the family is still volatile. Taking a peek into Decca's life, the dude's theater performances were getting closer. But now that he has a large fortune at his back, he underestimates the actor's fees, as if the money will never run out. Meanwhile, ever since receiving the vast inheritance left behind by their father, their mother has become more and more greedy and less careful with spending the money. She has developed a habit of squandering the money on buskers in large amounts, because of which she also got into TV shows for spending so much money on viral buskers on social media. Tika has now become a drunkard and Decca resorts to relying on the inheritance to launch his theatrical performances. All of this comes to an end one day when the lawyer shows up at their door for the umpteenth time to show them a video of their father saying that his inheritance was running out. Decca, who overheard the conversation, is now very confused and in a tight spot as he needed a huge amount for his performance. For the first time in many years, had they become worried about not having any money, whereas before receiving their deceased father's inheritance, they never had to worry much about not having enough money. They had learned to be content and happy with what they had. Even Tikka's newly made rich friends now started to stay away from her again. The only one who felt the change in the family was little Dottie when no one wanted to accompany him for dinner anymore. One day when Tikka is in a discotheque, she overhears someone saying that someone like Tikka shouldn't be in a discotheque, seeing how smart she actually is. This plants a desire in Tikka to change her habits and return to the Olympiad to ace it. She begs her old friend, whom she had left, to give her another chance. Everything starts to look normal again, as Tikka participates in the Olympiad. Their mother even distributes the necessities to the poor and needy. Decca, out of nowhere, receives a sudden fund for his performance. However, not everything is just as it seems. Their mother finds people jostling and pushing each other until some of them get injured. Tikka gets caught because her friends were using drugs, and Decca's show gets ruined because the people he got the funds from were people's representatives who were campaigning. The show that was supposed to run very well doesn't do so. Nothing went as planned. However, they get some relief when Tikka's urine test is found to be negative for any drugs. The situation doesn't seem as bad as they thought it would be, and they don't get miserable overnight. Then one night, the lawyer reappears with a man who is their father's younger brother, whom they never knew of before. The man is here to take away all the property of their deceased father. They have no choice but to hand it all over to him. Having experienced such bad conditions because of their mismanagement and forgetting their old lifestyle, they now come to understand that possessions are only temporary, and luxury and extravagance do not always guarantee happiness. They return to their old home, back to their old life, and start to live like they used to. Simply. Tikka and Bayu are to be married soon, and Decca also comes to accept his real conditions. However, before the film ends, another lawyer appears at their door with their father's younger brother. It is revealed that the man is not their father's brother after all, but rather a close friend of their father's, who was entrusted by him to teach the family a lesson. The lawyer shows them their father's last video, in which he apologizes for taking away their happiness and tells them that their father is still pretty wealthy. He just wanted to teach them a lesson, that a person's wealth is not related to his happiness at all. Instead, having a lot of money at one's disposal can sometimes take away all that one holds dear. With this last video being shown to them, the film ends, leaving a deep and authentic message for its audience: to relish the real wealth in one's life. That is the ability to be happy with what one has, and to always appreciate the people in their life, regardless of their financial status. If you like this video, do not forget to tap the bell button and subscribe to our channel for more recaps. That is all for today. See you soon with another mind-boggling, perspective-altering recap.